Hey sisters, today this is for my younger sisters. I I wanted to talk about being a good parent first. Well, first, being a good parent, it's not about the money that you give a kid. It's not about like how you dress them and stuff like that. It's about the love that you give a child. Every woman, for some reason, why does every woman think they're a good parent? Everybody's not a good parent. If every woman was a good parent, a good mother, and every father was a good father, then we would have so many problems that are, well, that wouldn't exist. That's what I have to say about that. I will not bash, the women about what kind of mothers they are, because when we become parents, we don't get a manual. We don't get something saying this is how you raise kids. Each day that we raise our kids, that's the first day that we raise that kid, that year, that hour. And the kids don't really know, anything. We're there to teach our kids. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is once we have our child and God has entrusted us to take care of our kids, then what? Because there are so many kids that are lost. Their innocence is lost. There is a such thing as molestation. There are a lot of girls who get raped by their uncles, brothers, cousins. And it's always an ugly subject. It always is. As a mother, I don't want you to beat yourself up because this has happened to your child. If that child comes to you and they confide in you and tell you that they've been raped, that's where you step in. That's where you become the parent. You're a good parent if you take that child, you believe that child, and you get them the help that they need. But what makes you a bad parent is when you say, oh, I think they're lying. And let's be real. Let's be real honest. Some women choose men over their daughters. Some women would rather have a man than than to believe their girls at all. It's like after you don't believe them, that takes them into the world thinking that, well, it sets up the scene for abuse. I'm sorry. It makes them think that nobody will believe them. It makes them feel like real bad about themselves, and they go out into this world and they're just lost. So when one of your kids tell you they've been touched, even boys, there are so many boys that have been touched by women. There are boys that have been touched by other men. Look, my little sisters, and even to the little brothers, but the little sisters, I believe you. If nobody else believes you, I believe you. And if you have an adult in the midst of you who does not believe you, go to somebody else. Keep telling somebody until somebody believes you. Because there's somebody who's going to be like, okay, let me take your hand. Let me get you the help that you need. And it's okay. It is okay. It is okay to seek counseling. It is okay to tell somebody. It is okay to not hold it in. It's not a bad thing if you tell, and there are so many mothers, and I think it came from like the old school, they say if something happens in this house, it stays in this house. There are a lot of things that happen in the house that carry through adulthood. So no, tell somebody. I know there are things that happened in my childhood, and there are plenty of people that they didn't believe it, and they still don't believe it today. You can't tell somebody's story for them. If something happened and it damaged somebody along the way, or it just brought harm to them in some kind of way, you don't get to tell them that their pain is not real. You're a bad parent if you do not listen to your child and you don't get that child the help that they need. But I say this, even if you're a bad parent, because we've all not been perfect. We have not been perfect. I used to have these family meetings with my kids, where they don't get a spanking, I'm not going to tell them they're wrong and stuff like that. They got to tell me how they feel. Look, don't get out of hand. But they used to tell me how they feel. And I did that because sometimes as parents, we don't know what to do. We don't do everything perfect. I know we think we're perfect, but we're not. My son brought it to my attention one day, you tell us don't do something. He said, but you lied, mama. I'm like, I lied. He's like, yeah. He said, you don't. He said, you told me don't lie. I'm like, okay. He said, but you told me that the Easter Bunny is real. He said, that's not true. He said, and then Santa Claus is not real. He was like, but you told me that Santa Claus is real. He said, how come you tell me that you don't want us to lie, but then you go around lying? Hey, the kids will lead you. So, I mean, that's off subject, but it's just to say, everybody's truth is their own truth. But tell the truth. You know, and there are some people out there, I know there are grown women who will cry rape, and they've never been touched by the men that they have accused of rape. That's serious. You know, don't ruin somebody's life because you're going around lying and saying that they touch you, because that's really serious. There are girls and boys and women and men, and they're out there hurting because they have been touched and they have gone through these things. So I'm right here at the playground right now because this is where it starts. You know, as kids, we believe that we can be anything. We believe we can do anything. We can go anywhere. You know, a grown-up does not have the right to take that from a child. We are here with these kids and we're entrusted to treat them right. So if you know somebody who is being molested, if you are somebody who is being molested, or if one of your kids have told you that and you just don't believe it because you don't want to let that man go, let that man go. Because see, keeping him is way more damage than you want to pay for. I don't believe that there's a man out there worth my kid's soul. I don't think that there's a man out there good enough to really just put before my kids. You know, I am going through a divorce. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, this person told me, you know, you chose your son instead of me. Well, it's not that I chose my son. The Bible says that we are not to tempt our children. You don't get to pick with kids and you know, treat them bad and stuff like that and just say, well, I'm grown. It's not fair and it's not right. So for today, I just want to say, let the kids be kids. Let the kids be kids. And for any woman that has been hurt, you know, you've been raped or you've been molested, it is okay to get help. It is. It's okay to get help, sister. It's like we need that help. If you've been through that, you need help, because what you want to do is you want to have a healthy relationship going forward. You know, you cannot continue to blame your mother from what happened when you were 3. Like, we have a role that we can choose. Even if you were raped and stuff like that being younger, you don't get to just like go through this world and treat everybody cruel because you've been hurt. What you do is you get help and you keep living, because life is worth living. It really is. And don't let rape stop you. Don't let that stop you. Another thing that I want to say is, once you've got that help, let it go. Let it go. Don't go back and pick it up every single time you turn around. It's like it's hurting you more to keep on to the pain. Like, forgive, but don't forget. Not forgetting is how we learn, but do forgive, because your kids need you to forgive. Your future needs you to forgive. It's just like we let pain hurt us so bad. We go 30 and 40 years holding on to pain that happened 3, 4, you know, at those ages. Like, we hold on to that. I'm 40, and at the end of the day, there are some things that may have hurt me in the past that I still remember, but it's worth letting go. It's worth letting go. You know, I hear a lot of people say that, oh, black people don't get counseling. That is a lie. That is a lie. If counseling is what you need, go get it.